Crikey, what Brazil did inside that, Liam, this evening, purring, as you say. Tell us more.
I thought they were fantastic. The sort of display they needed. I think they've been quite slow, quite cagey early doors in their games, and to see the spread of goals as well, I think was really, really impressive. They haven't been too reliant on Neymar for a long time now. To see Vinicius Junior on the score sheet, I think was a really nice goal. They're a very, very good team in getting their wide players involved. It wasn't the deliberate attack, I think, to go from Rafinha to Vinny like that, but a lovely move and a big goal for him, I think, in a national team shirt. He's not been too much among the goals for Brazil, so that's a good one for him.
Sasha.
Well, for me, I thought what's striking about that is, yes, they went round the flanks, but the third goal, basically, they parted the Red Sea down the middle, they went through straight through the heart of the defense. So as Korea after the goals, like, what do you do? Because I know, the commentators on ITV were criticizing the way South Korea was set up, but I don't think it really mattered how they set up in midfield because they weren't picking up the deep runners or maybe the slow runners like Thiago Silva, but he found himself on his own on the edge of the box, setting up that goal. And I think really it is very hard when you play Brazil, to find any sort of balance between attacking and defending. And as we saw in the previous games, first two games, hard-won victories, but they were victories. You cannot just defend against them forever. They will score. So perhaps, it might look foolhardy that Korea were trying to be a bit more brave, but I don't think any approach would have worked against Brazil tonight.
The fourth goal was possibly my favourite, with Vinicius with that delicious little dink over the top to Paquetá. Sort of move he probably does with David Moyes back in East London. As for Richarlison's, was that goal better than his overhead kick in the opening game against Serbia? What do you think?
Perhaps he was more in control throughout here, because against Serbia, remember, he took a bad first touch and then he made up for it with technique. Whereas today, I think he was in control throughout. But it seems to be that the World Cup and playing for Brazil is just a stage made for him. He plays with so much freedom and confidence. And I think, to be the fulcrum of a Brazil attack, it's quite something. And, he's a young player and, he enjoys his football. He also can be quite spiky. But I think overall, like, the way he embraces this tournament is quite remarkable.
Although everybody focuses a lot on Neymar, there are so many ways this team can hurt you, so many ways that it excels. It's a real problem for anyone who's going to be facing them.
Yeah, Sasha mentioned the variety really in the attack, how they went down the sides, they went through the middle. I thought they were doing some cool stuff in build-up at times. They're normally a back four, but at times we're pushing, I think it was Danilo as the left back today, sort of playing a bit more inside in midfield, sometimes building up with a three, overloading teams, and having that variety, I think, is massively important. It feels really like a team more than a collection of individuals. We all saw how they celebrated the goals. They're clearly, very together as a group, and I thought it was quite telling that. And people might see it as disrespectful, but even when the third and fourth went in, they still celebrated it like the first goal. That clearly still matters to them as much as just taking the lead.
I was really curious, actually, because Vinicius has been dancing after goals with Real Madrid all season in La Liga. And there's been a huge controversy. There's been quite a lot of abuse for him as a result. And I know that the Seleção players have been, showing their solidarity with him on social media. Whether the fact that they were doing this dance was in any way their way of saying, listen, we're just going to keep dancing here. But what an incredible performance. The last time Brazil scored 4 goals in the first half of a World Cup match was, well, I'm shocked if you know this, Sasha, but have a go.
62?
Well, a little bit earlier, 54 against Mexico. But somebody has scored 4 goals in the first half of a World Cup knockout game more recently. It was Germany against Brazil. As for Korea, I mean, the worst 90 minutes of their careers, probably.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they can walk off the pitch and say, look, we've been played off the pitch by that. Plus, there was a lovely, lovely consolation. Paik Sung-ho, I think he was making his World Cup debut today. He's a Barcelona alumnus, so went through Girona, and now back at Jeonbuk, back in Korea. But, 25-yard strike. Okay, little deflection on there. But I was looking at thinking, that's football heritage, because 38% of Korea's goals at the World Cup were scored from outside the box, 15 out of 39 since 1986, and only Brazil has scored more since. So, it's a lovely touch.
Hello there. If you've enjoyed this video, why not subscribe to this channel? And if you'd like more Totally Football Show content, then just search for us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Not an Athletic subscriber yet? Then just head to theathletic.com/totally to find out our latest entry offer.